Hey guys, and thank you so much for tuning into my channel. My name is DeLady Designer and we are back with the final episode of our reptile house build. So yes, at the end of this video, I will show you guys around what we did in the whole reptile house. So in this episode, we're going to build the Aldabra Giant Tortoise Habitat and a habitat for the Komodo dragon. And just in case, for those who didn't see the other videos, we don't have the Galapagos Giant Tortoise in this reptile house because that one is already in the South America Dome in our zoo. So if you're wondering why it's not in the reptile house, that's why. So the first habitat we are building is for the Aldabra Giant Tortoise, which is basically right next to the waterfall underwater viewing gallery for the Gharial we did in the last episode. So we had this like pretty round open space in the middle of the second wing of a reptile house. And this is going to be a little bit of a feeding area for the Aldabra Giant Tortoise. So the keepers will obviously make sure that the guests won't feed the animals any other things than the proper food they want. So we have this cool feeding dispenser. This is uploaded by Leave to the Workshop. I will link it in the description down below. It's very cool and it's just a little bit of realism. Obviously, our guests are not able to feed the animals, unfortunately, but just for the idea. So we have this low fence with the rocks and we have a second fence to make sure that the tortoise is not being able to escape from the habitat because, well, they could. So I had to make sure there was an extra fence and also to make sure that they're not getting too close to our guests to maybe bite them or anything. I don't know if the tortoise would do that, but I just wanted to make sure there was a little bit more of a distance between the guests and the tortoise, but still in a safe way for them to be able to feed the tortoise. So that's a little bit of the idea behind it. So we have this private section at the beginning where the keeper comes into the habitat, and that is like basically a little area where the tortoise can go behind to get some more privacy. But they also have another shelter underneath the path just because I felt like it was nice to have another cave area on that side too. And of course, like during the whole reptile house, we created some kind of planter box on top of that cave to create more of a lush area because, well, sometimes you just don't have that much space to really put down a lot of trees and bushes and stuff. So yeah, I really like to use those kind of areas to fill it a little bit more up with some more green. So I really like that idea. But other than that, I didn't want to make it too green in the habitat, so I only used like the back of the habitat to create a more greener area. And yeah, I think I'm very happy with how this one has turned out. And the next habitat we're going to build is for the Komodo dragon. So in this specific habitat, I chose to go for a cave area where the keeper comes in again. So the guests enter that section of the reptile house on top of it, and they do have one little window to look down in that cave on the Komodo dragon. And in case you're wondering, like every habitat, yeah, I'm pretty sure every habitat has an area with like heaters hidden in the ground. So like obviously most of these animals just really love a warm and hot climate. So obviously the whole reptile house would be like very warm, but to give them a little bit more extra heating, I added a lot of the heaters inside the caves mostly, or like the shelter areas. And other than that, the Komodo dragon doesn't really have too much specific stuff in its habitat. Like when I looked up pictures, it's mostly a very rocky and sandy habitat. So I really tried to resemble that a little bit in their habitat. So yeah, I just added a lot of sand and not that many trees, and mostly more some logs and stuff on the flooring. Unfortunately, the Komodo dragon can't really walk over logs, so I couldn't really overdo it. So that's really a pity. I really wish they could be a little bit better climbers maybe, so we could really take advantage of that and really create a more natural environment for them in Planet Zoo. But unfortunately, that wasn't really the case. They do have a little bit of water in their habitat, which is mostly to drink, because as far as I know, the Komodo dragon doesn't swim. So yeah, it wasn't really necessary to create a big area with water for the Komodo dragon. It's still maybe a bit too big, but I just really like the color variation with like the sand and the water itself. It just looks really nice and natural. So yeah, I'm really happy with how that one has turned out. But I do have to admit, like this specific habitat, you could really tell that I was like a little bit like out of the loop, I guess, with feeling really creative. And I was just very happy when the whole reptile house was done now. I think we did 4 or 5 episodes with the reptile house, so sometimes you're just ready to start something new. And I think I really felt that during the build of the Komodo dragon habitat, which was the last habitat for a reptile house. And I was like, yeah, I'm just really ready to start something new. So yeah, after this, we're going to start the Land of the Cold. If you haven't seen the last episode yet, I already mentioned that we're going to start the Land of the Cold, a little bit inspired of Paradise, which is a Belgium zoo. And I'm really excited for that because we're going to build a polar bear habitat, and it's taking me ages still. I'm still working on it. It's still not finished. There's going so many hours in that specific habitat only, but I'm very excited to share it with you guys. So definitely stay tuned for that. I'm really excited to hear what you guys think of my very first sandbox polar bear habitat. So that's going to be really excited. So yeah, back to the reptile house. Overall, I'm just very happy with how everything has turned out. We didn't do anything yet with the front of the reptile house, so I am thinking to create some kind of lake there, something maybe a little bit similar as the entrance of Koali Zoo, at least with like a nice viewing and really a lot of foliage and stuff around the lake, and really a nice viewing point towards the reptile house. But as of right now, I didn't do anything yet because I obviously want to make sure that I have enough space for it. And also because of the Land of the Cold will be pretty close to this building. And before I start to fill everything up in front of the reptile house, I just want to make sure that I have enough space for the Land of the Cold before we fill up the whole area in front of the reptile house. So that's the reason why I didn't start yet, but I do have some really cool ideas for it. But yeah, I just want to make sure that we have enough room to grow our Land of the Cold area before we do that. So yeah, I'm really excited to start that area now, and hopefully you guys will like that too. We didn't really touch the Arctic pack that much when it came out, only a little bit in our franchise mode series, so doing it right now in a sandbox zoo, I'm just honestly very excited for that. So yeah, stay tuned for that. So without further talking, definitely enjoy the rest of this speed build video. And for this video, I will see you guys around at the end of the video to show you guys around in the reptile house. See you in a minute. Alright, so here we go, the tour of our reptile house. And as mentioned, yes, I didn't do too much with the front yet, but I think when we will add some more green and stuff, it's gonna look really nice to have this viewing point over a lake. I think it's gonna look really well. So let's go inside. We might want to add a little bit more detailing right over here, maybe some more educational signs or anything like that. But other than that, I think it looks very, very nice. Yeah, I don't know, the glassy roof and stuff, it looks really nice. I'm really happy with it. So here we enter the reptile house with the first habitat for the saltwater crocodile. And I don't know, I think that one is sleeping a little bit. So this is the feeder I was talking about. I don't know if it still happens, but I got constant keepers coming in, filling that feeder. I don't know. Anyways, we have this first viewing gallery, and when we move along, we enter the reptile house even more, and we get to the underwater viewing gallery with a nice planter right over here. And yeah, well, unfortunately, they're not really swimming, which is still a pity. And I tried to remove the enrichment items with the sprinklers, but it didn't work out, unfortunately. So our guests go up right over here, and they have this nice viewing area inside of the saltwater crocodile habitat again, only from the top layer on this section. And they have a viewing area in the Nile Monitor Habitat, which is also not swimming, unfortunately, but it looks really nice. As you can see, I closed this off first with some rocks, but I think this open space works way better for the waterfall and have this open viewing area. And they can also look into this water section for the Nile Monitor. If they would swim, I hope they would also be here. So then we just move down right over here, and we have this cave viewing for the Nile Monitor. So there are heaters inside here, and there are some cute little babies, which is just super cool. And then we move along right over here, so we have this down lower area for the saltwater crocodile to look into their habitat, which is really nice, and they can really see the saltwater crocodile super up close. I think this is the most up close you can get. Oh my god, I would be pooping my pants if that crocodile would be running that hard for real. So this is really awesome just to be up close. And there's a little baby too. Hello. So there's another feeder right over here, just filling away a little bit. There's another one. Oh, that is so awesome. Okay, so we have a few underwater viewing galleries right over here. I call them more, but it's basically the same window, glass wall, of course. And they have so many babies. I think they have 7 Nile Monitor babies. That is just crazy. But yeah, I really like this. It would be really cool once they fix the swimming, that you would see them swim right in front of the waterfall here, for example. That would be really awesome. I would really love to see that. So then we move along to this section. I didn't do too much of detailing right over here. I think I need to get back to it. I just closed it off, but that's basically it. So let's not look too much to it. So let me change the sunlight just for a little bit. Oh well, I think it doesn't really matter that much. So we have the Gharial habitat on this section. So the Gharial does swim. Oh my god, we also have baby Gharials now. That went really fast, for me at least. Look at it, it's so adorable and so small. That is so cute. That is really cool. So once we go down here, that is like the most awesome thing, in my opinion, for myself. So we have this underwater viewing gallery in between the waterfalls. I honestly absolutely love it. I really just like the view of this. And since the Gharial is swimming, it's just really cool to see them from this section and from above. It looks just really, really awesome. Yeah, I'm really happy with this area. So we have the tortoise right over here. Let's give them some sunlight, just a little bit. I love my sunlight, guys. And so yeah, this would be the feeding area. This is the feeding dispenser. You can find the link in the description. It's just a small little detail. It doesn't do anything, but I really love it. So thank you so much, Leaf, for adding that to the workshop. It's really cool. And yeah, so basically, potentially our guests could be feeding the tortoise from here, and the tortoise would not be able to escape. And I think that's just a really cool addition. So they have 2 different shelter sections right over here to get some more privacy if they want to. It's really nice. So the last habitat we did was the Komodo dragon habitat. So the Komodo dragon habitat has some more sand and less water in the habitat. And the guests can also see the Komodo dragon from here in their cave. Again, heaters are hidden here in the ground for the Komodo dragon to get some extra warmth if they want to. So this is the top layer, so you can look down into the tortoise habitat if you want to. And also, wow, the nice waterfall section right over here. And you also have a view to the Komodo dragon habitat right over here with a little water section so they can have a little drink and stuff. And yeah, as I said, they just have a more simple sandy habitat right over here. And also the guests can obviously see the gharials from this side too, looking down in the habitats. So yeah, that is basically it. I really hope you guys, like this reptile house. Do let me know in the comment section down below, of course. And leave a like at the video if you guys enjoyed, and subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. And I just really hope to see you guys all in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye, guys!